All right, welcome back everybody. Well, today I want to talk to you about Texas radio and the big beat. No, I want to talk to you about a great Doors song. In fact, it's a song that I am 99% sure that most of you have been playing this riff wrong, as have I, all my life. And I'm going to reveal what that is on this lesson today. In fact, I'm going to take you through all the great stuff that Robby Krieger does on this tune. This is Love Me Two Times by the Doors. And great little guitar arrangement that Robby plays on this song, and not a lot of screaming leads or anything like that on it, but super interesting rhythm that he plays, and everything he does complements everything else that happens musically on this song. So we're going to go through all of that today. So if this is the kind of thing that you like and you haven't done so yet, please jump down and click subscribe and ring the bell. The bell lets you know when I drop new content, which I do every single week. All my videos have chapters in them, so you can jump right to the part of the lesson that you want to see and bypass what you don't. And if you're looking for other ways to support the channel, I appreciate that. There's thanks, which is like throwing a tip in the tip jar. Or even better, you can join my Patreon, where I've got chord charts and tabs for all of the lessons that I do on YouTube, like this one. The links are in the description, so check it out. Okay, so Love Me Two Times. This is a super fun song, and definitely on the scale of easy, intermediate, difficult. This is squarely in the sort of easier intermediate space. So if you're sort of just starting or just got chords under your fingers, you can do this song. This is great. Okay, so in terms of tone, best as I could tell, Robby was playing like a 63 Gibson SG Special during this time on this record. I've got a 68. But the important thing is getting these sort of P90s going. It sounds to me like he's on the neck pickup, actually. I'm running pretty much straight into a Fender Super Reverb here, and I'm sort of edging towards the treble high mids on that. I'll put all of the signal chain information in the description below. But that's the sound I got. So definitely on the clean side of things for sure. But okay, so let's just jump into this riff. So for years, I played the riff like this. Okay? Now when you actually go and listen to that, especially the very first ones, there's a note that's different. And I was like, really? And I checked it out. Yeah. So here is actually what the riff is. There's that A note. All right. And then that trill. Half the time he starts with it open. And the other half, he starts with it on the first fret. Who knew? And I love the way it sounds when you start on the first fret. It actually sounds way more mysterious. And then here's the open fret. So he mixes it up throughout the song. But I thought just right out of the gate, I was like, wow. And you listen to it, you isolate it. Yep, that A note is in there. Right there. Nice. So there are times in the song where I think he is still playing that B note. Like that, like we all did. But more times than not, he's hitting that A as far as I can tell. Anyway, so that's that riff. Isn't that fun? All right, so kicks off with that riff. Yeah. So it's going to run through that the first part of the vocals. Then he goes to an A7 and he plays it up here. And his strategy, because you'll notice I'm playing with my fingers, Robby plays with his fingers. And so he's just sort of bouncing back and forth on this chord, just kind of 2 strings-ish at a time. And, just moving kind of middle to the top of the chord. something like that. So mess around with that. I like to grab the A note in there too. Can't tell if he's doing that every time, but it sounds good to me. Back to your riff. Then we're going to go to a D7, but it's a D7 with an F sharp in the bass. And he just does this great arpeggio where he's just picking sort of the notes around in the chord in no particular order. He plays that open E string a lot. And he bends this. Great. And then a big C7 up here on 8th fret. And then the turnaround is, the chords are G, D7 with your F sharp again, this C7 to a B7. Sometimes you hear that, but I love that turnaround. Super fun, right? And we're back to our second verse now. On the second verse, he changes that riff up just a hair on that trill. He just lingers longer on that, and then he adds another punctuation after it. Love it. Everything else is the same. Goes through the whole thing. And at the end of this one, we're going to introduce our stabs. These are E. I think it's the way he describes it. It's an E. It's like an E chord, but you add, or E7 chord, but you add that 3rd fret on the 1st string in addition to the 3rd fret on the B string. So the way I finger the chord is like this. It sort of sounds like the Hendrix chord, right? Right. And the way he plays it is he upstrokes. And mostly you're hearing those first 2 strings. Right. So on this time he only does that one set of times now. Now we're going to go into an instrumental solo, and the solo in this song is not a guitar solo, it's a keyboard solo. Ray Manzarek is playing it. What Robby's going to do behind it is support him. So he's going to lay off some of what he's been doing and give space for all of Ray Manzarek's Manzarekness that he does, right? So he's going to start with the riff, but then he's just going to go to octave E's. Right? Same thing on the A. And then we go right to our turnaround. Stabs. Whoops. And I think coming out of this one, you change your B7 to up here. A little more higher energy. Get that note in there. All right, now we're going to go into our next our next verse, and he's going to change the riff again. And the way he changes the riff this time on the third verse is... So it's the exact same thing that he did with the last verse. It's just on a different string. And it's all around the E chord, if you haven't noticed. Right? Runs through the entire gamut there. Same sort of pattern. Go to your A. See if you can pre-bend that. Back to our D7. He just picks around those arpeggios. He doesn't ever play it the same way twice, but you're just picking the notes that are in the D7 chord, and you're actually laying off that first string. So have fun with that part. Big C7. Now we're going to go into our last verse, and the energy is building again, right? And what he's going to do now during this is he's going to change up the riff, and he's sort of going to go back to what he did during the keyboard solo, where he's going to play those octaves. But he's going to add in some blues riffs, right? So here's where they fall. And then here's our first one. Nice. So just based off of that E7, start with an open G string. Then he's going to come out of this little part before he goes to the D7. You're going to hear this. Okay, then we go to our D7. Start with your regular arpeggio picking. But then in the last second, we're going to come up here. Whoop. So that up here on the 10th fret. And we're going to do repeated choruses that are going to take us out. Remembering to go to your B7. Stab. Last one. Same chord, just an octave up. So exact same stab, just up here on the octave. All right. Well, good gracious. That was Love Me Two Times by The Doors and the great guitar work of Robby Krieger. I hope you learned something new today. If this is the kind of thing that you like and you haven't done so yet, please jump down and click subscribe. It helps me out a lot. In fact, we're closing in on 100,000 subscribers, and I want to get there as soon as I can. I want that plaque. So hit that button if you haven't already, if you like this, and hit the bell. It'll let you know when my new content drops, which I do every single week. And let me know in the comments what you thought about this, and if there's another song you want me to take on and do a similar lesson, let me know what that is too. But until next week, take care, everybody.